Hey guys, Ufilios here. Today we're going to be going over the portfolio. To start off for the week, let's go over the SPY, for example, the performance for the SPY for the last week. So you can see here technology did pretty well. There's some other stuff here such as semiconductors and computer hardware that did exceptionally well. And then on the opposite side of things, stuff like healthcare, a lot of healthcare companies, energy, consumer staples, you name it, kind of didn't do too hot. Financials did actually go up, which is nice, and we'll kind of see that in our portfolio. But yeah, moving on into the actual stats numbers, you can see here that we are sitting around $69,249. Now, a large percentage of that, well, the gain, or not gain from last week in terms of this accounts for that. But actually, the dollar amount that we're very close to 70K again was because we added a $3,500 deposit, which is super nice. But you can see here for the 7 days, this is money weighted or time weighted, but this accounts for the money, the deposit. We're actually up 6%. A large percentage of that was from Composer this last week, so that's 6.88% on Composer. M1 Finance was 0.21%, and then Webull was about 10%. But overall, pretty good. If we head down here to the historical ledger, I probably have to fix something here. I think it's a caching issue with the database or something. The market was closed, obviously, due to Juneteenth, but it's not showing there like it usually does, for example, here. So I'm not sure why. But going on, you can see here on Monday we were up 6.75%, then down 3.87%, then down 2.44%, but then back up to 4.39%, which landed us, again, these are all for the portfolio, by the way, but this landed us around that 6% up. So that's pretty nice. Moving on into the actual portfolio, you can see here on Composer itself, we're about $60,460 right now. So that's pretty cool. We have around, I want to say, yeah, let's look here. I think around close to 73%. Sometimes Composer is really weird on the weekends. Just a second here, guys. It might be bugging out right now, but essentially we have around 73%, I want to say, closer to 74% in TQQQ, 10% in QQQ, and 10% to SPY, with the remaining around 6.3% into Box, BUOXX, which is essentially a bill alternative, but meaning we're very long into tomorrow, and I will kind of go over that in a second. You can see, yeah, it's pretty close. But yeah. So moving on to M1 Finance, we can see here, if we go to the invest side of things and go in here, make sure we're on the week. We can see here that financials, Visa and MasterCard went up, like I mentioned there. A lot of growth on Visa. Technology, Microsoft continues to fall, which is crazy. Healthcare, Vertex was up 1.48%. Consumer discretionary, Home Depot was up 2.54%. Consumer staples, Procter & Gamble up 1.37%. And then last but not least, our real estate stuff, AMT down 6%, which is crazy. In terms of dividends, we did receive one single dividend this last week, which was from Home Depot, $9 dividend, which is crazy to think that had a $9 dividend as well as, or we received $9, but had a good dividend, and the price went up, which is typically not that common, I guess. But overall, not too bad. On what is bad is Microsoft is still falling again. It's down 14%, which is the biggest cost basis in this account currently. And there's a lot of other ones that are down, like, more than 5%, which is crazy. I'm hoping this one goes up just a bit more, and then I can sell it and then transfer it over to Composer. But until that happens, it is what it is. On Webull side of things, we can see here that we started the week as down about almost 12 or 11.5%, then up 12.5%, up 10%, and then up 7%. So pretty good for the week. You can see hopefully we're starting to dig ourselves out of this hole. But I've said that a million times, so who really knows at this point? It could just keep dropping, or it could keep going up. I really don't know anything that's going on with MSTR or MSTC for that matter. So hopefully they eventually go up. But again, I really do not know, guys. Yeah, taking a look here though at TQQQ and where it's currently standing. We're at 56 on the RSI for 10-day, so that's pretty good. That means that we're in a good position to hold TQQQ, in my opinion. The only thing I am worried about at this point is potentially some choppy markets. So you can see here, we were trading sideways for quite a long time, since about September, right? And that's the thing I'm a little bit worried about here, because you can see that's kind of a similar setup here. Now, obviously, there's a million different stuff like that. Like, could be something like this, right? So I don't really read charts. I'm just saying I hope it's not another chop thing, because that is actually one scenario where um, TQQQ does not do very well. When your strategy just switches back and forth, it doesn't do very hot. So because you tend to do whipsaw. So in terms of the Nasdaq, currently sitting around down about this is the future, about 0.75. I think earlier when I checked, it was 0.4, then 0.6, and then 0.7. We'll see how this shows. Like I always mention, futures are really weird. Sometimes they're really accurate, and sometimes they're not. And if that's the case, they're probably not accurate to how the market's going to open the next day, unless there's like a very big jumps, right? So if we saw Nasdaq down, I don't know, 3% or something down on the futures, it's pretty likely to happen in the next day going up. Or going into it, it's probably going to continue like that. But when you're hovering around like a 1%, half a percent, 0.3%, it really doesn't mean a whole lot. So this could, honestly, we could end the day tomorrow with a positive day. We don't know. So there's no real point in studying it that much. But yeah, that is kind of it, guys. I will say that I am moving in about 2 weeks. Potentially not going to be able to upload a video on the 5th. I will see. We're just trying to figure some stuff out right now to when I'll be even have my PC available, so to speak. So we'll see there. But yeah, overall, guys, pretty happy with the last week of performance. Obviously, we had a lot of catching up to do in the previous weeks, but we've kind of caught up so far. Kind of going back there. If I look at the 30-day and I take these off here, you can see how we're doing there, up around 3.68 or 3.67%. You can see that number there as well. We really hope that would be up higher, but unfortunately, that's just not how the market works right now. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. And as always, I wish you guys well with the future.